What made humans? Why are humans the most successful species on the planet? We can't run the fastest. We can't fight the best. We need clothes or we freeze outside. It's because of one thing. It's because of adaptability. We can adapt. That's what we have. So if you tie yourself to one location, you are seriously damaging your ability to adapt. Things happen. And look at Corona. You could have been stuck in California where you want to be in Florida, where it's open. You need adaptability. So for the same reason I say to people, look, don't buy a house, rent a house. Oh, but renting is wasting money. No, what wasting money is paying a whole bunch of interest on a mortgage for a house that when you finally need to sell it, it takes 3 years to sell. Time is money. You're wasting it. Just rent a house, find a way to make some money, and if you get annoyed in X location, you can move. Buy. So adaptability is extremely important as well. And you can do adaptability within America, or you can go global like I have. I love Romania right now. Will I love Romania in 10 years? Don't know. Where will I want to live then? Okinawa? Cool. I've got money in the bank. Let's go. So adaptability is another big part of it. And 3, the reason I kind of got this mindset is for a while, I really wanted to live off grid. I wanted to just be left alone. And I realized that in the modern world, that's absolutely impossible. You can't be off grid if you want to live any kind of life worth living. So then I came up with the idea of, why don't I put myself on as many grids as possible? And the goal behind that is that no one grid controls me. So for example, I have 7 passports. I have 15 driver's licenses. So let's say I'm driving my car and the police stop me. I'll just pull out a license from some random country. I'm in Romania. I'm driving a Slovakian plated car. I've got an American driver's license. I've got an Estonian passport, and I'm speaking English. Like, you think they're going to take my license, or they're just going to look at me and go, just slow down, bro, bye. If the paperwork's not worth it for them. If you ban my passport, you can ban my passport right now. I guarantee I got another one that'll work. I'm that guy, right? So I like the idea of freedom, and freedom is basically achieved by having enough documents so that no one country can stop you from moving. Unless you're like Edward Snowden or something and you're really on the Interpol list. But for minor stuff, make sure you always have driver's licenses so no one can stop you driving. And make sure you have money coming in from the sky so you can rock up anywhere and live for as long as you need to live. If you do that, you're pretty free. And that's what we teach inside the War Room, because I think that's the end goal is freedom. And if you have all those things and still want to live in America, good luck to you.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Slim Ernie, and today I'm here with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the nomad life, the traveler's life, the van life, whatever you want to call it, right? It's all pretty much the same thing, right? This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, travel around, see the world, really see what's out here in the world, And it's so funny, when I was younger, I considered myself one of my first usernames, right? I remember, I'm gonna tell you my first PlayStation username, right? My first username, it's all gonna line up together, right? But my first username was Cash Money Earn 5000, right? That's something actually my cousin came up with. And I said, I think that's a really fucking cool last name. So I was like, you know what, fuck that. I'm gonna call myself Cash Money Earn, right? And I always liked money, right? Even when I was a kid, I remember when I was a kid, there was a radio station that used to promote a strip club called Onyx. If you lived in New Jersey area, or at least Philly, New York, you heard of Onyx. The guy on the radio, he used to hop on the radio. He was like the best promoter. Like, Onyx, bottles, bad bitches, they there, that blase. Like, he was a super lit promoter. And I remember when I was a kid, my parents, they'd be driving with, and I'd be on the radio. And I used to be like, I want to go to a strip club, right? Then I remember I used to be like, man, I want to own a strip club. And I remember I used to always tell them stuff like that, like, I was always a kid that I seeked adventure, I was a kid that I would hop over school fences, to get in, hop over people's backyards, go to different basketball courts at different locations, by myself or with a friend. traveling through the hood, but not as far as, traveling through the hood. Like, of course, I'm usually going through the hood to either get to a friend's house, my cousin's house, or I'm going to a basketball court. I was never out there just wilding in the hood. I used to hang with it when I was in high school. I used to hang with a couple of drug dealers. They was my friends, you know, and I used to just, want to just fuck bitches and get money, you know. My first my first Instagram username was Crazy Ernie, because I felt as though I was always doing like some wild shit. I thought that was pretty funny. But being a nomad, being a traveler, your mind has to not be civilized to a certain degree. Because here's another thing to give you a best example is, when I was 18, I used to go to the strip club near my high school, right, called Erotic, and it was strippers that I used to talk to them, and I used to be like, we used to be talking, and they'd be like, yeah, they'd be like, I'm from New York, right, and I'm from New Jersey, right. Well, the strip club is in New Jersey, but strippers, they would come from different locations to go strip there, and I used to ask, why you do that? They would be like, if I go to a different location, no one knows who I am, so I can do whatever I want. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. But I always ask myself, Ernie, if you go to a different location, who would you be? Would you be the same person? Or would you change into a whole different person? And that's something I always thought about, is how would you act if you was in a different location? What would be your identity? Because you can create your identity. You can do whatever you want if you're in a different location. No one knows who you are. No one knows your background. Even if you study war, right? Before a person invades, usually, a smart leader is they send people into that location to study the people, see what the people are doing. So, and they go in there and they take over through the inside out. It's like they understand the people and they disguise themselves, and then they, infiltrate and, take over that way. If you're talking about war, right? But as far as what the stripper's talking about, she doesn't want to get judged by her family members, so she just goes to a different location, and it was so funny. I remember it was my friend's birthday, and we went to a strip club out in Philly, and it was two. He seen another one. It was like three of them. It was three. I only knew the two girls that we was talking to, but we went to school with these chicks, and they stripping, and I'm like, whoa, like, and it was so funny because it was like, now I wasn't cool with these, like, it was like we seen each other, like we was never cool. I was never cool with them, but I used to like see them around school, and I'm like, oh, like they stripping. But it was so funny because where we was at, they was actually in a nice strip club. I forgot the name of it, and I knew exactly what they did. They went to a different location and they did what they truly wanted to do. And what I'm trying to get is, sometimes you can't do what you want to do in your location, right? You can't be yourself, or do the thing that you always wanted to do, because your family, your friends, they have this idea of you. They have this mold of you, and you don't want that to change, because that's gonna either mess up your relationship with your friends or family, or you just can't. You're just not comfortable enough to be that way around family members or friends, and doing van life or being a traveler is not just about doing, it's not about always the view. I mean, I'm not doing it for the view. I mean, the view is nice. The view is a good extra bonus. I mean, the reason why I do van life is because I understand war, and I want to be rich, and that's kind of just it. If be honest, I like to travel around just so I'm not stuck in one location. So if anything bad happens, I can move. And I want to be able to see the board broadly and understand business from, sometimes, like, if you're in an area like New Jersey is a very interesting place to live. Well, actually, I'm not going to say that. It really depends on your mind, because I always wanted to be rich since I was a kid. So I will go to networking events, parties, clubs. I will always try to meet the money people, niggas out there that's really making money. And I realized, some ideas don't work in certain locations. Certain things don't just work out. You have to be able to move around. You like in your like you're trying to create a business, but there's like 10 of the same businesses in that location. But if you're stuck in that location, you're gonna say, this idea doesn't work. No, that's not the case. Actually, the idea does work. You are just in a saturated area and you need to move to a different location that is not saturated. It's too much competition there. And if you're trying to make money, you don't want a whole bunch of competition. Like, there's like, it's like if you're trying to create the next fucking Amazon, like he created something that there's no one in that space, so you have to go to places that you can do whatever you want. There's no one in that space and you can dominate that space. And sometimes you have to go to different locations to do that. You can't do that in a location that you may have grew up in, if we're talking about business and money, But I want to also say that doing van life can be lonely at times. You if you're not used to being by yourself for long periods of time, it will begin to get to you. You may just want to stop doing this, because just because you go to a different location don't mean people are just openly welcoming to you. Now, I haven't had any bad experiences as far as people. Now, of course, I know, like, you may enter, like, I remember I went inside this gas station. The chick that was working there, she was an older lady, And I remember as soon as I got there, she was just hassling me about fucking being there. She's like, oh, man, you're taking long and this and that. And I remember I just sat there and laughed. I'm like, I'm just taking my time, But here's the thing, right? Once you're coming from a different location, you're already free, and you talk to someone that's in their gas station and they're being mean to you, think about they probably just hate their fucking life. And I remember I used to tell some guy that I used to work with that sometimes people, the majority of times why a person is angry at you has nothing to do with you, especially if you don't even know the person. How can you be angry at a person that you don't know? Usually it's an internal thing they got going on, So don't ever worry about someone talking crazy to you, or you think this place is racist and stuff like that. Sometimes you just a person that was right in front of them why they was mad, So don't worry about those type of things, And yeah, and also, there'll be times that oh yeah, you miss your family and you want to go back and you think, it'd be good to go see your family. Which as a nomad, you have the ability to leave and come back at will, if you can make that situation possible, Like right now it's getting near the holidays, Halloween's coming up, Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that. And I'm sitting there thinking about if I'm even going to go back or not to see my family, because right now I'm in Kansas City. I'm going to be staying out here for a little minute. And I'm like, should I go back? Should I not go back? Is it worth it? I don't celebrate holidays. Like, if you know me, I don't even celebrate my birthday. My family members, they want me to celebrate things. And I'm really just not into those type of things. I think them things are irrelevant. Because what my goal is really to not even fuck Christmas. It's supposed to be Christmas every single day. If you go big enough, fuck Thanksgiving. If you go big enough, it's Thanksgiving every single day. If you have time to create a reality where every day is Christmas, every day is Thanksgiving, every day is, is just amazing. That it's like I don't want to celebrate holidays. It's a man-made thing. You dig what I'm saying? And I know that, but a lot of people, they like those ideas or those holidays. Now, Halloween coming up, I'm thinking about going to a party, because I've been on the road for a minute. I haven't fucked me a bitch in a minute. So I'm like, I need to go to a little Halloween party. You dig what I'm saying? Get me some ass. You dig what I'm saying? And, meet some people, because where I'm from, like, it's like you can meet people. Like, I'll be meeting hell. When I was in New Jersey, like, I was meeting people damn near every fucking day because everybody else just outside. But that's not the whole world, And that'd be the whole thing is you get stuck on the reality of home, thinking that's the whole reality of the world, which is not. You dig what I'm saying? So just you gotta know how to adapt, and meet people. Which I usually meet people when I'm out and stuff like that. But not at the highest level I did when I was at home. Like, I knew exactly where to go to meet people when I was home. I remember, it was so funny, I remember when I was a kid, I used to go to the mall to go talk to the bitches and stuff like that. I remember when I was a kid, I used to walk around the mall for hours talking to bitches. Like, You know, it's so crazy. I never even told y'all stories about when I used to do shit like that when I was a kid. I used to do that when I was like in middle school. We used to just go to the mall and just talk to bitches. Never used. I remember I bagged one though. I remember that. I think I only bagged one. But shit, I bagged it when I was in middle school. I remember that day. I feel like the fucking man. I'm like, yeah, you know, I have to get that number. That shit light. But she put it in her fucking, I think, because I had an Android, she had put it in her iCloud and shit like that. That shit didn't end up working out, but I actually thought I was attractive enough to put that number in there, so that's all, it worked out for me, you know. But yeah, being out on the road, man, like, your life is gonna change tremendously. Like, your thinking will change. You know, you will become stronger as an individual because you're putting yourself in a hard situation, you know. This stuff isn't easy and this stuff isn't hard. It's all about how you handle each situation. You know, you have to make the most logical decision all the time. Like, what makes the most sense at this very moment. When you're home, you don't have to make the most logical situation because you're comfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you're going to think of the smartest thing to do at that very moment. And whatever it takes to get stuff done, you're going to just do it. You know, because no one's coming out here to save you because you're in a random location. You dig what I'm saying? So, open your mind to van life, man. I think it's the best thing you should ever do in your life is travel the world and see what the world truly has to offer, you know, and go out and grab what you want. Do whatever you want. No one knows who you are. You can do whatever you want. You dig what I'm saying? But, you know, just do what's best for you, man. And if you do van life, I hope the best for you. And I hope you stay blessed and, you know, you find what you're looking for. Church on the move.
Hey, what shit, nigga? Bitch. It's chillin' out with Gucci Bomber, the Ferragamo. You're broke, we got nothing in common. I'm not responding. Fuck a check up on some diamonds, that's why I'm shining. Investigators looking for me, they'll never find me. It's chillin' out with Gucci Bomber, the Ferragamo. You're broke, we got nothing in common. I'm not responding. Fuck a check up on some diamonds, that's why I'm shining. Investigators looking for me, they'll never find me. Smoking on the blunt the same size as my son. Flip flop paint, watch it change in the sun. Pyrex pot, left on first degree burn. 4 Giotto's big, so they rub when I turn. Paid a pretty penny for my necklace and my charm. Pounds coming in, bitch, we growing it on the farm. The shit that I'm selling is life threatening. Junkies eat the dough for breakfast like jam and jelly. Hit the gas, putting the hurt in on these Pirellis. Serving junkies powder dough, gave me a chubby belly. I spray my wrists in a pot. Water whip like I'm a chemist. No, you ain't no motherfucking trapper. Don't betray that image, cause it know that you're not. 4 stoves cooking, bitch, don't touch it while it's hot. I got buckshots in the shotty. I'm going Scotty, set up shop on the ops. Why? They in the party, wait outside.